Bonjour, it's Preppy. All right, so listen, man, this is going to be the first episode in a long line of episodes that I'm going to be coming out with periodically, entitled Waking Up or Wake Up from Wokeism, or Wake Up ×2. It'll be a mix between those two titles. And the reason I'm doing this right now, this channel, I make videos on a wide range of topics, from relationship to money, business, entrepreneurship, but because I am who I am, which is a black man, a non-white, a ADOS, foundational black American, Negro, nigga, depending on what you want to call it, that's who I am. I go by, or I'm technically defined socially in those contexts. But the reason I'm doing this is because I can't help but relate to some of the things that are happening, within that community, especially here on YouTube, where you're watching this video. All right, because I myself, I'm not only a contributor to YouTube, I'm also a watcher of YouTube. I like to get a fair share of information from there. YouTube is a good place. YouTube is like having a university in your pocket or on your desk. You can learn a wide range of topics. But also on YouTube, you can be easily indoctrinated, depending on what you're going through, depending on where you are, your maturity, your age, different things. And the woke community on YouTube is one of those things, one of those rabbit holes that you can, go down and never return. Now, I myself, again, I used to be with it. I'm gonna be honest, right? I used to be with it. I used to listen to Tariq Nasheed and Boyce Watkins, and if you go deeper, you got Bobby Hemmett and Francis Cress Wilson and all these people, all these black leaders, from present and past, because a lot of the past stuff or videos were back in the day, all of the good information. But what happens is this: you get stuck becoming an informationist and not a doer, not a producer. And that's the worst thing in the world to become, because we're here to produce. All right, it's great to get advice or some type of understanding about something from someone older than you or somebody more knowledgeable. But at the end of the day, you got to be a doer. All right, but what the woke community on YouTube, has what the woke community has done in general, but on YouTube, what they have done is become the pulpit. They have become very similar to the black church digital. All right. Meaning that they say a lot of things, they talk about a lot of things, they get people really charged up, they take donations, but at the end of the day, not many people's, circumstances really change. Now, of course, you have those individuals, who probably would have been, think about this, you got those individuals who probably would have been okay anyway, had they not heard that message. But, other people who listen to this message, they just think it's the message that is the producing. And that's where they're sorely mistaken. All right. And two factions of this group right now. All right. That's Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks on the other side. All right. One group being the ADOS, which is Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell. And the other side being Tariq Nasheed, which is FBA, Foundational Black America. And what's happening right now is a split. All right, a split amongst this group. Now, this is the reason why I'm making this video, because this is nothing new. All right, I'm sure people who follow this group or wokeism, internet wokeism, they understand that this is nothing new. There's always beef. There's always rifts within these factions. They're a microcosm of the black community. Aren't there always rifts and disagreements and splits? Yeah, same thing. All right, same thing. But here's the thing. Them being that they are leaders, whether they choose to say they are or not, because some of them say, I'm not a leader, I'm not a part of a group. But at the end of the day, you are an influencer, and they're influencing. Their influence has reached as far as the NFL. They had NFL players walking around kneeling and, protesting this and protesting that. And at the end of the day, they were losing money. All right, because think about it. Their livelihood is football. You trying to get, cancellations of games, and the fans not to rock with the owners and this and that, but you end up messing up your own money. All right, but that's the power of wokeism. All right, wokeism will take you down a rabbit hole that you really don't need to go. Because at the end of the day, honestly, nothing's gonna really change. All right, there's been various temperatures of wokeism from the beginning, right? But nothing really changes until people start to produce things. All right. Now we can say, oh, if there wasn't anybody talking, if there wasn't any leaders, then nobody would have been motivated to make the changes. Nah, I'm not buying that. I actually believe that we'd be a lot further right now if there wasn't such a group thought within the black community and everybody did what they did individually and then brought those resources together and that maturity and that work ethic and everything that they would get from being an individual and then apply it to the group. And I think we would be a lot farther right now. We'd be a lot more respected by the other cultures. And then we would have our own culture and our own community instead of just acting like we have one. All right. But here's the thing with ADOS and FBA, all right, because it took me a while, And again, I'm out the community. I'm not woke anymore, all right? I've woken up. I can't make videos about waking up from wokeism if I'm still, woke times one, the first one, right? I'm waking up to a point where, I understand that, yes, there is a society in which there are people who generally just don't like us. They don't want us to do well. For us to do well would mean for them to do wrong. I mean, not do wrong, but for them to do not as well. It's a competition. It's a race. The race is like a race. It has to be first, second, third, fourth. Everybody wants to be number one, right? Remember Nelly? What does it take to be number one? 2, it's not a winning. And 3, nobody remembers. Hey, but the thing about it is, we are at the bottom of the totem pole, so nobody even thinks about us. All right, which is why we get no respect. All right, so again, the group is not going to be the thing that gets us respect. It hasn't, and I'm glad that these factions are breaking up. And hopefully, again, because as a society, is dwindling down the drain at this point, and everything in it, and it's going to take that for certain people to wake up. For certain people to wake up from wokeism. Also, it's going to take these breakups, these rifts, these certain tensions between these so-called leaders of wokeism in the black YouTube universe for people to understand that this is some bullshit. All these people are really hustling. Do some of them probably want to do good? Yeah. But again, nobody does as well as them. They're the people with the millions of dollars. They're the people moving around place to place, going on vacation, doing all that, while their followers or their flocks or members of their groups or whatever it is are sitting at home, not producing anything and not getting anywhere. All right. These influencers are going to be able to one day leave things to their families, their children. And again, the people who they follow are going to be able to leave nothing but like information. All right. They're going to pass the information down. I think about that. You go to all these rallies and stuff like that, and you see these kids and they got all these kufis and, African garb on and stuff like that. Those kids grow up to be kids. Unless, again, their parents are people who produce something for them. They grow up to be people with all the information that passes on all the damn information. And then, some of it's irrelevant and it's a big mess. All right. Which, again, makes me happy that this ADOS FBA thing is happening. All right. And here's my interpretation of what's happening once I actually put all the context into one and thought about it. This is what's happening right now. Tariq Nasheed, all right, he's salty. All right, Tariq Nasheed is a dude. Tariq Nasheed is like the bad kid, right, in school, right? And he's the bad kid, but like, let's say he's the top bad kid, and there's other bad kids too, right? But the other bad kid says, you know what, I don't want to be bad no more. I see this is not something I really want to do. Or they say, you know what, I want to be bad, but I want to be bad on a different level. All right. And so they say, you know what, I can't really rock with you with this one. So let me go ahead and move around. And then that bad kid who is moving around from is very resentful and tries to do all the things he can to thwart the other kid from moving on. All right. I hope that's a good example. But because what's happening right now is Tariq Nasheed is like, okay, I bigged up ADOS, right? I promoted it. I said it was a great thing. I said it was brilliant that Yvette and Tone did this thing. Wonderful. And I think he did that because he said, like, it's going to be a bag in this at the end of the day. And I got to be a part of the bag. So, we all won. Because think about it. The woke community, these people I'm naming, Boyce Watkins, Dr. Umar, and all these people, they all know each other. They all talk. They all understand that they have similar followings. It's not the same exact following. So they kind of bounce off each other. They go to speak each other's events. They go to each other's channels. They support each other. They might promote each other's stuff. They do this because at the end of the day, it's a bag for everybody, right? Now, with ADOS, that's the reason why he did it, right? Now, forget about the fact that Yvette Carnell and her history that with Boyce Watkins and Tone Talks and his history with Boyce Watkins where they all fell out and such, whatever. Tariq's like, you know what? That had nothing to do with me. They think about it like it's a mob family. Like, you know what? You might have fell out with that mob boss over here, but you still good with me. Let's get some money. But when ADOS, right, when Tone and Yvette started to build ADOS and started to get certain people coming to them and saying, hey, you know what? We'll give you such and such if you can deliver that audience to us. Like the Democrats and Byron Allen and these different factions that are trying to use ADOS. And we know this why, because Tone and Yvette keep talking about these people, right? And keep trying to get their supporters to be, in support of these people and their movements, Byron Allen versus Comcast and the Democrats versus Trump and all these different things, right? What's happening is they changed it from lineage, which means that, again, American descendant of slave, right? They changed it to a political thing. Now, Tariq talks about politics, but he can't get to that level. Why? Because Tariq has too much dirt on him, right? Now, back in the day, right, the Kennedy group, right, the John F. Kennedy and Robert and all those things. Now, JFK, his dad was supposed to be the president, right? His dad wanted to be the president, but his dad was a bootlegger. That's how those families got on back in the day. They got on with illegal things. So, again, and he talked crazy. I think he was anti-Semitic and things like that. So he couldn't be on. So he put JFK on, and that was cool, Now, with Tariq, he's been a rapper. He's been like a pimp. He's been like a relationship expert, misogynist. He's pissed off a lot of people, made a lot of enemies. So he can't get down at that level, right? He can't get any respect at that level, right? And that's what he's upset about because he understands that, damn, I can't go to this level. And Yvette and Tone, they can't take him with them to that level, right? And Tariq's like, oh, okay, so there's no bag for me. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bag for me then. So, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to be a FBA now. I'm going to be the foundation of Black America. That's been around for a long time. Dr. Clara Anderson talked about it and stuff like that. So I'm just going to research this. Because again, if you know Tariq, if you have been watching Tariq's been trying to create an organization for a long time, right? Tariq understands the importance of having an organization if you want to really monetize something. Tariq is an ordained minister. Right? He would hit that pulpit if he really could, but again, he's too dirty, right? Which is why he has his internet community where he can hustle from. He understands that. People, I don't know if you understand, man, but the cult personality, this stuff is deep. And you really make money. You can influence people to do the ultimate, which is death, like the Manson and I forgot who that was that had the people drinking Kool-Aid. I think it was Jim Jones, right? You with a group, man, you could do anything. You could have a harem of sex slaves. You could have a lot of different things, right? Tariq's always understood this. Again, he tried to do the Melanoid Nation, couldn't really get that popping off. So, he's like ADOS, somebody else. Maybe I'm not the person who could create that. All right, cool. Y'all create that. Y'all have me speak. I big y'all up. I come in, I get a bag. Maybe I do a documentary about it. Anybody who attacks, I make puppets on them. This is a bag for me. Because again, opportunist as Tariq, every once in a while you gotta switch the hustle. Again, he's been a dating expert. He has a musical band, right? He dances and shit. That's his mindset. But again, when ADOS went political and they tried to cut him off, which they did cut him off, That's when he's like, all right, well, fine then. Because again, Tariq's not no dummy. He's not no dummy. He might be a hustler. He might be very nefarious in the shit that he's really doing, but he's a very smart dude. He's like, yeah, all right, fine. All right, I'm gonna do my foundational black thing. Now, here's the problem, because I don't believe that Tony and Yvette really had a problem with that. But the thing about this, with them being aligned with who they're aligned with, they have to bring that crowd with them. Now, the problem is some of that crowd involves, Tariq's people, right? Because again, all these people, whether they wanted to or not, they're all intertwined. They're all mixed, which is why when the New York Times wrote that article, right? New York Times wrote an article about the ADOS movement, with Tone Talks and Yvette. They mentioned Tariq's name. Because again, all these people are intertwined. And that's when Tariq was like, you know what? Think about it. And he had his Michael Ruffin or David Ruffin moment. I made y'all asses. I'm Tariq Nasheed. I with this shit. I created this, right? I'm the beginner. I'm the first. I am the alpha and omega. Tariq lost his damn mind, and that's what brings us to the point now. Now, again, this being the case, this is the case. They know that Tariq is very big in this community, rather people want to believe it or not, which is why he was, mentioned. Tony, Yvette, they didn't really like that, because again, their faction wants them to be the leaders. They need to be the influencers, so they can, again, instead of using that group they have and putting advertising on them to, make money like that, they give that group to people like Byron Allen or the Democrats and let them, monetize it. And that's how, again, Tone and Yvette would monetize having ADOS. They would have different opportunities, different shows. They'd probably be on network television. Different things would start happening. But Tariq's in the way of that. And the bigger thing with Tariq being in the way of that is the fact that the ADOS is trying to have a conference, right? But Tariq now is going to have a conference. So again, that splits that faction in which they have promised to Byron Allen and promised to the Democrats. That splits that faction. But Tariq's looking like I thought we were trying to get a bag anyway. Because again, if you look at the Foundation of Black American Conference 2020, the prices are as follows. It's $50 for general admission, $100 for prime seating pass, $200 for VIP admission, $500 meet and greet, a $500 meet and greet. What the fuck? Right, a meet and greet. Think about that. $900 general vendor booth, $1,500 VIP vendor booth placement, $3,000 VIP event sponsor listing. Now, the only ones that really make sense to me is the vendors. Again, if you want to come and sell stuff, cool, but we needed some money. We'll use that to do what we do. Now, getting in and VIP and meet and greet and all that shit is a hustle. That is monetizing your influence. All right? And Tariq is like, this is what I thought ADOS was going to do in the first place. You see, like Boyce Watkins had the Black Business School. He has Tariq talk on that. When they can connect in the same city, he'll have them come out and speak. When they do a documentary, they'll come out and speak. They'll do those different things to monetize it. Tariq's like, oh, okay, so y'all trying to leave me behind. All right, damn, they're like Ghost. Like the ADOS is like Ghost on Power. Well, Ghost is trying to become this businessman. He's trying to leave his past behind. He's trying to become this political figure. He's trying to leave his past behind. And Tommy's like, no, you ain't going nowhere without me. No, you can't go straight. Tasha's like, no, why you want to go straight? That's some bullshit. That's who Tariq is. He's like, man, we got a perfectly good bag right here. Come on, man. But the thing about it is, you see, Ghost don't have a record. Ghost is free and clear. Tommy can't do that. Tasha can't do that. They got to do what they got to do. That's the same situation Tariq's in right now. All right, and that's the reason why we have this beef. All right, but this again is the reason why everybody needs to wake up. All right, if you want to be entertained and you want to, support this shit, support it like the NBA, support it like the NFL, support it like the WWE. Don't support it like it's something serious that's going to be beneficial for your family, you and your kids. All right, because the only thing that's going to be beneficial for you, your family, your kids is when you decide to become an entrepreneur. When you decide to use the resources from your 9-to-5 and create something else for your children. All right, because that's going to create the community and that's going to build the culture. All this shit on the internet is not going to be it. All right. And I hope y'all understand that, man. All right. I hope I'm being very clear. All right. Because again, when I woke up, man, the first time I woke up, again, if you don't have an understanding of racism and injustice and all the history of our people and things like that, then you listen to these people and they will get you fired up because you can relate to a lot of that shit because it is true. All right, so I'm not saying that these things don't happen. I'm not saying your story, your struggle, or your strife against the different races of people isn't valid. All right, but again, you sitting down, bitching and complaining and griping and trying to figure out some movement to come against them in their own society, in their own system, that shit's not gonna work. All right, the war is over. They won the war. All right. Now their power is dwindling, their numbers are dwindling, their influence and everything is dwindling, which is why they're doing a lot of different things now. So we hitting it hard right now. But again, this shit is circling the drain. Society ain't going nowhere, but it will change. And right now it's just draining itself of the bullshit. So it don't get worse. All right. It's like a fever, man. It's like a disease. It gets worse before it gets better. All right. If it don't get better, just die. All right. Because this society, everybody might just be done. It just might be over with. All right. But again, if it's not over, then again, this worst patch is just going to make it better on the other side of it. And I really believe, right, that when everybody wakes up from being woke, it's going to be a whole different ball game. All right, so I like this shit. I like that these people are beefing with each other. I like when Tariq and Umar call each other names and go back and forth, even though they are responsible for influencing these many people, and a handful of their followers are like, oh, this is bullshit. Right? They're like, oh no. And they start being woke. And they start thinking about themselves and being an entrepreneur and using their valuable YouTube time, right? Again, YouTube University to research things that make their life better. That's what this shit's about. That's what it's about. All right? Because these people, man, they become narcissists, man. All right? If they weren't before, they definitely are now. And it shows when they start beefing with each other. All right? Because you are the fool. We. Right? I'm included. They make money off of us. We have to click past the ad. They get paid for that. We're the food. All right? And these are fat rats right now, man. All right? And they start getting lazy and not understanding what they're really doing. And they start messing up the game, making the block hot. ADOS making the block hot for the black community. They really are. Tariq was smart when he said that. He was real, or being honest when he said that. All right, that when Nikki Barnes took the photo shoot and then made all the gangsters in New York hot and the FBI started coming in, yeah, ADOS being in the New York Times, that made it hot. All right, so hopefully this shit ends. Hopefully people say, okay, damn, it's another movement that's been thwarted by the FBI. All right, another movement with all these agents and stuff like that. Maybe that's not the way to go. All right, but yeah, this is just a short video, first installment of Wake Up From Wokeism. All right, because this is time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. The days of just going to church and the days of going to Afrocentric church, this shit has to stop. You got to gain knowledge and produce. Period. Yes, shit's bad. Yes, things are fucked up. Yes, it's not equal. But again, it's not going to stop until we all individually build for our families. All right, and we pass on generational wealth. So that our families, kids, grandkids, kids can build. All right? And people will respect them and we'll be fine. So at the end of the day, man, wake up from wokeism. All right? Wake up times 2. I'm out.